Alright, welcome back to Peanut Garage. Today, we've got a 5.3, $200 VZ, $1,500 T56, and a couple of Wuhan whistles. We're going to do a budget series on this one. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alright, so 5.3 litre, paid $1,500 hairs for this. Still got a truck balancer on it, which I cannot get off. I need some heat on it, and I've got to pull that. Got my original water pump off the VY, original intake as well, power steering pump, which that looks like it's not going to work. Got a couple of cheap manifolds off eBay with the turn up, so we've just mocked it up for shits and giggles, couple of photos, thumbnail, blah blah blah, couple of Wuhan wall whistles as well. I think I paid $350 for the pair, so yeah, they are cheap and nasty. So have not done a single thing to the 5.3. Was pretty clean inside, a little bit not looked after, a bit gummy, but fairly clean. So I'm quite happy to send it. Probably only going to be pushing 7 to 10 pound out of these turbos anyway. No big deal. Now, over to the Gearbox. So picked up the cheapest T56 I've seen in a long time off Facebook Marketplace. As you can see, that is absolute junk, but we will clean that up. That's no drama. That is, as you can see, got the original one off the VY and the clutch, so that is money I don't have to spend. We'll call it a second-hand clutch for $500. Yeah, over to the VZ. So if you guys follow the channel, I picked this up for $200 hairs probably 18 months ago. It's been sitting in the back. I've had a couple of thieves try and go through this thing, so I have started to play with it. Yes, it's got a kicked in rear quarter panel. Upcoming episode will be how to replace this as well. Yeah, so dings and dangs all over it. Very heavy boot lid. Got a VY Master there. We are going to swap over to a VY Master eventually, and a fuel cell. We'll do a very cheap setup. Yeah, and we'll also clean all that junk out. I had a set of VYSS taillights sitting around, which then I picked up a VZ bar. I didn't realise that they're a different height, so I've got to get a new set of taillights. They're spares for the drift car anyway. And have a look in here. See if we've got the light working on. Boom. No. So, no, light's completely dead. Yeah, pretty rough interior. We'll get a cheap bucket seat off eBay or Marketplace and chuck it in. Do have a couple of SS seats lying around. So next step, we're gonna tidy up all this crap, pull out what we don't need. It is just going to be a burnout car, fun car. Probably teach kids how to drive manual in this thing. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll have some fun with it. Please follow along. Alright, so I've put the gearbox up on a bench, and I keep losing tools. This place is a friggin' pigsty at the moment. So we've got the second-hand throwout bearing, which is obviously in a lot better condition than the other one. We will be removing this, and we will be putting a steel braided line in, because I have opted to go manual. It is very hard to find the steel lines to convert this over, so it's just easier to grab this line here, which is like 90 bucks, which is easier than trying to track down the line that goes from the gearbox. Well, this one does have half of it from the gearbox to the slave master. So to undo your lines, these spanners make life a hell of a lot easier. It's got your little cutout, goes over. I've also got a secondary line which helps you bleed, because these are a pain in the backside if you don't know. That's your bleed point. So you got to get in a spanner, and yeah, it just makes an absolute mess. So with this, you have a little leg, and just like your brakes, you just bleed it out. So it makes life a lot easier. So that's your standard line. Try your little out. So that's a little line that goes from your gearbox to your chassis. So that'll go up through here. There we go, can do that. With your clip, and then that can slide in and out. And that would go to your body one. I won't have this, I won't have that on this car, but this will go up to your reservoir. Pretty simple. Alright, so luckily that is nice and clean in there. Goop has not affected it, luckily. Alright, that's the gearbox ready to go on. We'll move on to the next step. Alright, so we need center bearing put in. Alright, so I don't have any blue, so just a tiny dab of red will do. Alright, I have had this flywheel sitting for a little bit after machining. It's got a little bit of surface rust, so we'll just keep it clean with some brake clean after we do these up. So ARP says 95 foot-pound, GM says 70 to 80, so I'm just going to go to 80. Alright, That got rid of most of the surface rust. It'll all be good. Clutch will take off most of it once it does its first spin. Just put a little dab. Doesn't call for it, but I would be safe than sorry, especially with second-hand shit. With that being an old clutch, it's a little bit coarse, but slips in and out. Should be fine. If not, I'll be pulling it apart again. So from memory, there, 25 pounds. Oh, so good. Clutch alive. All right.
Thanks to your fabulous assistant and her spaghetti spine.
That is another step closer to getting this bucket of crap and that bucket of crap. Alright, that was a mission. So the input shaft was still too rusty, so I had to clean it right back to bare metal, and then it finally slipped in. So I did that off camera because that was an absolute pain in the ass. And also have cleaned up the engine bay a little bit. Yeah. We will get there. Alright, time to put the motor in. Alright, so it's sitting in there. Got to put the bolts up from underneath, and the gearbox cross member in it. Yeah, it's been a long day. Yeah, I also put the wiring loom on before I forgot to put it, because it would have been a pain in the ass to put it on in the car. And once we got the gearbox done, I got to rebuild the tail shaft with new center bearing and put that in, and then we can start putting some headers on. Yeah, and that'll be nearly all I can do on this one for now, but yeah, we'll do all that and we'll film it. Alright, so as you can see, it's just fouling on there and there, which is no big deal. I can cut that out later. The big issue is the chassis doesn't allow for a fourth bolt to go in. So I've got two bolts in there, one in there. So looks like I'll be drilling a little hole in there and putting a nut in from there to get that fourth bolt. No biggie. Nice new engine mount, gearbox mount. O2 sensors are reachable. We're going to get some extenders because dump pipes are going out the bonnet. Cool. So we'll put this back down and we'll put some headers on and see how we're going for clearance. So I've mocked the headers up. So far so good, plenty of clearance, helps that I pulled heaps of crap out. Obviously brake lines are touching it, but I'll get moved right over. no big drama. So position of these, this one I actually don't mind because it misses the radiator and I can move the radiator forward. I can also clock this to come down through here, or 90 off and then down through there. Well, I just cut the whole thing out because I'm also going to have to work out a way how to go into there. This one, on the other hand, as you can see, it sits where the radiator is going to sit. So I'm going to cut probably 40mm off that and weld it together, and yeah, then we'll put the second turbo back in line, and then we'll clock it that way and then go down into the intercooler. Yeah, so we'll get the intercooler out and we'll have a look, start playing with some ideas of how to mount this thing. I've mocked this up. Yeah, I'm going to need some flat bar and some more time, which I don't have for this project right now. So we're going to come back to it, but we've made good headway for this thing already. Yeah. But if you want to see more of this, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Peanut Garage. Take it easy. Be good or be good at it.